As the Vietnam War raged around her, this war orphan survived thanks to the love of two servicemen. This week on Hiring America, we'll hear Kim Mitchell's incredible story. We'll take an in-depth look at the organization Mitchell now leads. The Veterans Village in San Diego helps thousands of struggling vets overcome their problems and find jobs. We'll hear from an international power management company that's looking for veterans to hire, and a program in the Pacific Northwest that seeks to help veterans in a natural way. Hiring America is next.
The Armed Forces provides amazing training.
I think about veterans as people who have already figured out how to serve.
My military skills have been essential.
Hiring veterans is a great business case. They're the best employees we have. They're flexible, hardworking, and they're used to a global workplace.
If that isn't an asset to any company, I don't know what is.
Hiring America, the award-winning television job fair for American veterans. Connecting you with companies who know your value. Learn about employers who are actively hiring today and organizations that support veterans. Your future success starts right here on Hiring America.
Hiring America, produced in partnership with DAV, fulfilling our promises to the men and women who served.
Thousands of inspiring stories have come out of Veterans Village of San Diego since it was founded decades ago by 4 Vietnam veterans. But the most incredible story might be how its current president and CEO found herself at VVSD.
I do have an interesting story. It was one that I really wasn't searching for. It kind of fell in my lap. I always knew I was adopted from Vietnam. I knew that I was adopted in September of '72 out of an orphanage in Da Nang by a U.S. airman who was stationed there, and I grew up in northern Wisconsin living the life of a cheesehead. But I never knew how I got to the orphanage. Growing up in essentially a military family, service was very important because my dad was very in tune with structure and routine and discipline. And it's the way I grew up. And so that type of life very much attracted me towards the military. I ended up traveling back to Vietnam in 2011 to celebrate my 40th birthday with some friends. And I was reconnected with the nuns that worked at the orphanage. And they showed me my name in a registry book. And through that, the U.S. Embassy did a press release on my visit back to Vietnam. One of the media outlets that picked up this press release was a magazine that was printed here in the United States specifically for the Vietnamese community. I was contacted by a South Vietnamese national who now lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who informed me that he was the South Vietnamese Marine who got me off of a bridge in Quang Tri and drove me to the orphanage in Da Nang and gave me my Vietnamese name. My Vietnamese name is Tran Thi Ngoc Vic, which translates to precious pearl. When he dropped me off at the orphanage, he didn't know what was going to be in store for me, other than that he hoped that I would survive. I know that what he and his family have told me is that after the war he went back to Da Nang to look for me, but I wasn't there. In the letter that he sent me in 2012, at the end of the letter, after telling me how he got me off the bridge there in Quang Tri, one of the last statements in his letter was, "I hope you're successful in life living here in Washington, D.C." And that he was proud of me. And for me, that's pretty significant. His name is Bao Tran. And when I first was setting up the meeting, I didn't really know how I was going to feel. I didn't know if I was going to be emotional. I was very, I guess, apprehensive of, like, here I go meeting another person. But meeting them, all of a sudden the emotions surfaced. It was a watershed moment to meet him and just be able to say thank you for taking the time during during the war to drive me to an orphanage when he actually didn't really have to. The way I feel when I think about how that one small act of kindness has influenced not only my life, but the lives of the veterans and military families that hopefully I've been able to assist in the course of my career. It goes to prove, I think, that in this busy world that we live in, you never know when an opportunity is going to show up. And that opportunity to maybe assist someone, reach out and offer that hand up to someone who might be in need. Because you never know. You never know when that one act of kindness is going to have a lasting impact on many, many people. I don't think ending up here at VVSD was an accident. I think there is somebody's plan that caused me to come to VVSD, and what we provide to the veterans that come in here and have lost everything, and if it's that little bit of assistance that helps them realize that they have the absolute potential to achieve their goals in life. I am now very focused on what small little bit of assistance that we can provide to some of these veterans that can perhaps change the course of their lives, just as some assistance was given me that changed the course of my life.
Next on Hiring America, the amazing work Kim and her colleagues are doing to help America's veterans at the Veterans Village of San Diego.
Any veteran out there that is struggling with any type of addiction, mine's alcohol, I don't really think there's a better place on the planet for you to be. Get here as soon as you can.
Join the conversation. Follow Hiring America on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
I was 17 years old, firefights, bombs going off, missiles going off, people hollering and screaming. To me, life was a ball of confusion. I was hooked on cocaine before I got out of the military.
When I was overseas, I injured myself, I injured my back, and I developed an opiate addiction.
My alcoholism was running my life, and I was a mean and basically a shell of the person that I am.
When I came back, I was using the opiates that were prescribed to me pretty heavily over the recommended amount.
When I got out, I continued partying with cocaine, and that led to other stuff.
I was sitting there slowly killing myself by drinking alcohol every day. From the time I woke up until I pass out and wake up again and get more.
I was on the streets for probably about a month, and I caught a federal case, robbing banks.
I remember getting on the bus and I wasn't taking care of myself, and I got on the bus and nobody wanted to sit near me because I was that stinky guy on the bus. I mean, that's how low my life got.
We bring veterans in who have literally hit rock bottom in life. Through addiction, mental illnesses, maybe due to service or some other event that has occurred in their life, and they've lost everything. And we bring them in and we get them the mental health treatment, we get them the substance use treatment, because many of them are addicted to alcohol or drugs of some sort. And all their stories are different. All of the reasonings and all of the challenges are different. There's one common thing, is they lost everything and they lost connection to a community.
I was so used to being around my shipmates, and when I got out, I really didn't know what I was gonna do.
And the first day that I got out, I still remember to this day, just sitting there and thinking, like, what do I do now?
It's daunting. It's daunting to transition out of the military into the community. And quite often you feel isolated. Maybe you're dealing with some type of mental illness and mental challenges such as post-traumatic stress caused by combat or caused by another incident that may have happened in the military. It could be anything from military sexual trauma to even pre-childhood trauma that some of our service members are dealing with.
I struggled a lot with post-traumatic stress that I didn't know that I dealt with or was dealing with at the time.
I always knew something was wrong, but I never knew what exactly was wrong with me, because PTSD wasn't a thing back then.
Pretty much everybody that knew me had written me off as a lost cause. I completely quit looking for a job. I completely started isolating myself. I was drinking every day. When my family had found out about VVSD, I agreed, I needed help.
The common themes are loss of self-confidence, loss of employment, isolation from community and family. We have veterans, and when they come in, they're on their own track. No one's on a set timeline. It really depends on the case manager and the therapist and the veteran themselves.
I knew that as long as I continued to challenge myself, I would be moving forward and not backwards, because there's a lot of things that I didn't want to do, especially when I first got here. And I realize now, like, those things that I don't want to do a lot of times are good for me. And a lot of it for me is change. I'm learning how to break out of those zones that I like to stay comfortable in, and learning how to progress and develop and move forward.
Every case manager I've dealt with, I mean, they may not tell you what you want to hear, but they always tell you what you probably need to be hearing. I've had my run-ins with case managers, but it's always been, you look back on it, yeah, they're probably right,
The success stories are, for me when I see them, is the veterans that when they realize that the things that they had been holding on to were probably the wrong things in life, because they were the things that got them to where they were.
The other rehabs were not putting anybody down, but they didn't teach me about drug abuse. They talked about it, but they didn't teach me. VVSD has taught me about the psychology of drug use and what it does to the brain.
So getting them to realize that they needed to let go of those bad habits and those bad things has encouraged them and made them realize that there are more important things that they can hold on to, like relationships with family, like having a job that's meaningful where they're earning a paycheck and they're getting promoted at work because employers are seeing the value of a veteran and their leadership and their management and their teamwork capabilities.
My plan for when I graduate from VVSD is to maintain employment, which is a job that I was very excited about, because it was like a dream job to me to work at the VA and be able to work with veterans and to give back to veterans and just be in that environment. So getting that job offer and working diligently to put myself in that position has been a blessing to me.
I'm very happy about the program. I'm happy that it's gone the way it has, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter in life once I graduate out of here.
One day I would like to own my own barbershop. That's where I'm headed. That's what I'm looking at. Use my GI Bill to own my own barbershop.
It's seeing that magic that occurs in our veterans, where they come in and quite often they're broken because they've lost everything, but when they walk out, they've got a smile on their face, they've got some pride in their step, and they've got their heads held high. That's magic too. That's what we see at VVSD.
VVSD has changed my life. It's changed so many men's lives before it. If you're a veteran, this place is geared 100% for a veteran, and they know what veterans go through. They understand everything. There's combat veterans here that get help with that. And if you're a veteran out there and you need help, I pray that you find a way to get here, because this place definitely will help you.
I am a veteran, and my victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
I am a veteran. My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
My victory was finishing my education.
Mine is proving a disability is not a limitation.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory is having my new battle buddy.
As veterans face their challenges, DAV is there to help for victories great and small.
I'm a veteran, and my victory is getting the help I needed to put my life back together.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support.
I'm a veteran. My victory is being there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Eaton is a power management company. We're involved with customers in the aerospace industry, in the vehicle industry, in the auto industry, the hydraulics industry, and the electrical industry. We have a spectrum of jobs. All of those opportunities can really translate well for veterans.
I had gone on online job fair and I had seen Eaton and I met the recruiter. And that recruiter happened to be somebody that had been in the kind of squadron of the jet that I flew. It was awesome to have somebody that just knew what my skill set was.
I was a nuclear electrician's mate. I was in the military. I've actually found in this job that the technical experience, it goes a long way. And I think that's why there's so many military members in this field, because we have all the hands-on actual knowledge of the equipment.
I was an avionics technician. I worked on Hueys and Cobras in the Marines. Once I got out of the Eaton and got trained there, I'd go to work every day, I'd turn on a wrench and you know, it's just me and the machine, just like it was me and the helicopter, and I really enjoy that.
I greatly enjoy the people I work with. I work with some great minds, some great personalities, and it's the reason why I show up to work every day.
One of the things that I think is important for transitioning service members to understand is making sure that the company has a value set that they really believe in. At Eaton, we talk about really making sure that the products and the services that we offer improve people's lives and the environment. If that's something that resonates with them, then a company like Eaton would be a great place for them to work.
I started volunteering at a barn where we provide equine therapy for our veterans and active duty and first responders. I did that for several years and absolutely loved it. And that's where I realized that's where I need to be. I need to be serving and giving back to our veterans. It's a pretty incredible experience to watch the effects of the horses. When we work with our veterans and soldiers, we try to tell them, you know, calm your thoughts, slow your brain, take a deep breath. And when you do that, the reaction you see, not from the veteran and the soldiers themselves, but also the horses feeding off of that energy, it's absolutely incredible. We've had guys that would come in and not say one single word to us. Just go to their horse, groom them, but then when they start working with the horse individually and start actually doing some groundwork and riding, they get that aha moment where they're like, oh, okay, so if I breathe and relax my brain, the horse relaxes and has a tendency to listen better. Then that also brings out the veteran or the soldier wanting to speak a little bit. You know, they'll come and say hi to you, which is like a huge deal, like, oh, yay, he said hi, great. To the point where they are engaging, not with just their horse, but with people around them as well. And it's a pretty incredible thing to see and observe.
Thanks for watching. Remember that you can always find this episode and others on our YouTube channel. Reach out to us at hiringamerica.net or on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We want to hear your stories, questions, and comments. Join us again next week right here on Hiring America.
Hiring America, produced in partnership with DAV, fulfilling our promises to the men and women who served. This program is made possible by the generous support of the following companies. Promotional consideration provided by JetBlue, a proud employer of those who served.